Whoa. I can't even see anything. Whew. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Rants About Tech Live, number 148. Wow, 148. For this Thursday, August 21st. I'm your host, Rod, here in cloudy Philadelphia today. I'm hoping for some sun, but it's not. I'm not hopeful. Hoping just not hopeful. So I hope you guys are doing good out there. Hope you guys having better weather than I am here today. I'm here with some of my good friends in the chat. What's up, chat crew? Let's get the air horns going for the chat crew already. I appreciate you guys showing up to the show early. This is where we talk about the tech news of the day. We talk about eInk news as well. We also talk about maker news from time to time when I'm making stuff. When I'm making stuff, we're talking about it. And that's all tech related. So if you like that kind of stuff, go ahead and join us. We're here Monday mornings. I said Monday mornings. Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to kind of whenever. If you're into that kind of stuff, like I said, go ahead and join us. Go ahead and hit the like button. Off the rip. Why not, right? That's nothing harming anyone from hitting a like button. Just hit that like button. And if you want to see more of this kind of content, hit the subscribe button. You'll start seeing me in your feed even more. How you guys doing today? Let's get the applause going for the chat crew for being here so early. I appreciate you guys for making the show what it is. We got to talk about some Google news today. We got the Google Made by Google event that happened yesterday. We did a live stream yesterday. I mean, I'm probably going to start doing that. Just an impromptu live stream when I'm going to be doing a tech-related or watching a tech-related event, just so you guys can see my reactions real time to this crap. It is what it is. It is what it is. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about the Pixel devices. We're going to talk about the, and that's all the hardware, the watches, the phones. We're going to talk about the buds to an extent. So we're gonna talk about that too. And also, what else are we going to talk about here today? We're going to talk about the eNote. We're going to talk about the eNote. I'm going to do the live. I mean, listen, you guys, the live demos are hit and miss sometimes, okay? But we're going to try a live one today. We're going to do the live screen testing of the eNote 2. So I'm going to take the brightness. We're going to take the whiteness test. We're going to take the color shift test. We're going to do a live friction test on the surface of it to see what kind of friction we got going on, because I'm telling you, the surface on this eNote 2 is so much better than the surface on the first one. Again, like I mentioned before, I think I mentioned this in the unboxing, that should be coming out today. I had to add some information to it that I didn't have beforehand. Listen, they could have handled the launch of this thing better, okay? I'm not even going to hold you. They could have handled the launch of this thing a little bit better, but here we are. We're going to do it. So we got those live demos coming up, and we're also going to do some Reddit stuff. So we'll go through Reddit and see if we can help some people. We probably won't, but it's fun to try. All right, let's go ahead and get into the holidays of the day before we get into the tech news. Really the only one that I saw that was like, okay, I could talk about this. The other ones were like, okay, I'd have to research and do some homework to figure out what was going on. But National Senior Citizens Day here in the U.S. Listen, if you have a senior citizen in your life that you haven't reached out to in a while, do that. And when you do reach out to that senior citizen, introduce them to AI in a responsible way, though. Like, pick your best AI. I've seen research that says AI is helping senior citizens be more productive and more independent in their lives, which helps cognitive skills. So don't look at me crazy like, oh, you want my granny to be talking to AI? It's not a bad thing. There's tests and things to prove that there's good benefits to senior citizens interacting with AI. Someone to talk to. They get things off their mind. So just, Senior Citizens Day today in the U.S., you may want to reach out. And then again, like I said, when you do reach out, introduce them to AI. Responsibly, of course. Okay, moving on. Let's get to the tech stories. Actually, let's get to the chat first. All right, what do we got in the chat here? We got Parm in the chat. How's it going, Parm? Good morning. I thought eNote 2 was supposed to launch yesterday. The website doesn't show it. I know. You see what I'm saying? The launch could have been handled better, bro. I'm not going to hold you. I mentioned it a second ago. They botched maybe botched is a bit more extreme of a word here, but it didn't. Listen, I'm the simplest person to explain stuff to. I look for the details and I'm like, okay, I get you. I understand. I understood nothing about this launch. Hence, I got to amend the launch with new information that they sent to me yesterday in the midst of the launch. So there's a few things that we got to talk about with the eNote. We're going to talk about that. The launch could have been better. And it did launch yesterday, but it's only on Amazon, right? Weird. I got the link though. The link is in the description if you want it right now. So I got a couple of links in the description under the eNote or under the eInk descriptions there. There's a link. And that link takes you to the eNote site on Amazon, so where you can buy the eNote. We're going to talk about some details that, like I said, they're not lining up. I'm frustrated. But anyway, we're going on. We're moving on. What else we got here? Love that fancy. Oh, he lives that fancy. Talking about the fancy coffee he drinks. The Rock. The Rock is a coffee connoisseur. If you guys didn't know, he's someone who searches the world for the finest beans. He desires the finest bean water the earth has to deliver. And so he searches for the sacred finest bean water he can acquire to satisfy his bean water thirst. Oh, it's sacred. It's sacred bean water. Okay, we'll go right to the tech news. I think I've done too much here. Okay, let's move on. First thing we're going to talk about is going to be the Made by Google event. So we're going to talk a little while about this. Okay? Pongo says, "What do you think about buying the Pixel 10 Pro from an iPhone 15?" I'm gonna, you know what? Let's do that before we jump into these specifics here. Just to give you, I'm someone who's was an iPhone fanboy at one time in my life, so I'm not anti iPhone. And if you guys are wondering, this shirt is the holiest shirt I could muster. It doesn't even. I just want to get that out of the way because I was feeling self-conscious about it. But it's the shirt I pulled out of the drawer at 5 o'clock this morning. I couldn't see a thing. My old Game of Thrones shirt, by the way. Oh, that was a good series until they ruined it the last season. Oh my God. Anyway, moving on. Pixel phones. So as far as the Pixel goes, I have an iPhone over here. So I have both. I have iPhone and Pixel. If you're an iPhone user and you're coming to the Pixel lineup and you're thinking about coming to the Pixel lineup, now is a good time to do it. There's a few good reasons for it, okay? First big reason is AI. The iPhone AI is atrocious. They have no plan to fix it. So if AI is in your phone is something you care about, then that you should be getting a Pixel phone. MKBHD says this all the time in his videos. And if you don't know who MKBHD is, that's Marquez Brownlee. He's probably the biggest tech YouTuber on YouTube. One of the biggest. He's probably not the biggest anymore, but he's one of the biggest. And he makes a statement all the time that I wholeheartedly agree with. I might have said this independently of him, but he says it too, and I'm going to give him credit for it. The Pixel phones are the smartest phones in the room. Period, point blank. I don't care. It's been that way since the Pixel came on the scene. They're always the smartest phone in the room. They just do more with less. And not only more with less, they do better with less. If you remember, for a long time, the Pixel phones were delivering the best pictures of any cell phone, and it only had one camera. One crappy Sony bargain basement camera at that. But they did the most with it. Created the best pictures. If you're coming from iPhone to the Pixel, the biggest draw in my mind would be the AI. The build quality of Pixel phones have gotten better. Like iPhones used to dominate in this market, like as far as build quality goes, and like the ingenuity that went into making the design and the hardware of the iPhone was the best on the planet. No one could even touch it. Samsung now, to me, has the best designs, and build quality. Like the Samsung Galaxies, stop it. To me, they are the best now. They have the best designed. They are made with some of the best materials. The actual build quality of the phone is second to none. Like you build quality on Galaxy phones are just superb, right? So they're matching Apple in that department now. So the only thing that's standing, and all phones are getting in that way. All phones are coming in line with the fact that they're all really good in the hardware department. The Pixel was the worst in the hardware department for a very long time. The Pixel 10 is them showing that, hey, we're not only catching up, we're making strides to show that we're influencing the market. And if you don't think the Pixel design is influencing the market, you just look at the new iPhone. They basically stole the camera visor from the Pixel that everyone hated when the Pixel first came out with it. I've been in love with the visor ever since it came out. I don't know why I liked it, but I did. I think it was the fact that you could sit it down on the table and it not wobble when you tried to type. That was a big thing. Owen says that's not true. What's not true? What's not true about I knew Owen was going to come in here for the iPhone. Let me know what you think is not true, and we'll debate it. But the fact is, that design wise, every other company has caught up to the iPhone. That used to be their claim to fame, design, because the software has been old and dated for a very long time on the iPhone. I'd argue anybody on that. Did you know a modern smartphone contains about half the elements in the periodic table? Wow, that's incredible. That is wild, DeRock. I did not know that. But as far as materials go, they use some of the best materials. I mean, if you think about it, with in between the glass, the batteries, the metal, the magnets that they use for the haptics, the processor materials, yeah, thinking about it now, Rock, that makes perfect sense, actually. The thing here is that buying a Pixel 10 Pro right now, coming from an iPhone, from an iPhone user, you're not losing any build quality. Okay, I mean, I'm just giving you the facts here. These are just the facts. These are not my opinions at this point. Oh, Owen says I'm in voice. All right, Owen, give me 1 second. Let me finish up this thought, and we'll get right to that. 1 second. So, in my mind, you're not losing any build quality with a Pixel phone like you used to. So that's a non-factor. As far as cameras go, all of these phones take really good pictures. Okay, they have their own aesthetic quality to them, but they all have basically the same features, and they all take really good pictures. Now, you can debate about which one is better all day, but the fact is they're all really good. Okay, so pictures isn't a really big thing anymore. Should I change to the Pixel? Well, hold on. Let me finish this thought. I'm gonna get to that too. So you're not giving up anything hardware wise. You're not giving up anything camera wise, or you're not giving up anything build quality wise. You're not giving up anything camera wise. You're not giving up anything. Well, you are giving up processing power. So if you're a power user, you want an iPhone. Okay, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're crushing what Samsung does. They're crushing what Google does for the just pure processing speed, because that a processor that they put in the iPhones is just superb. Okay, no one can really, I mean, people can argue that too, but the iPhones are probably the most powerful phones on the planet. See, period, point blank. So, but think about it though. We're talking about a cell phone. All cell phones are going to be super powerful enough for you to do whatever you want to do. It's just that Apple's is the most powerful. But what does that mean in a cell phone when all you're doing is, you're not editing video on a cell phone? But if you were, the iPhone would be the best option. But no one's doing that. You know what I mean? Maybe iPad-ish. Maybe someone's editing. Aaron, do you edit on the iPad? Let me know. Maybe some people are editing on the iPad, but I don't think that's a thing. So no one's editing on their phone. So who cares about being the best in power when every phone is powerful enough? Okay. So nowadays, the only thing you're giving up with an iPhone is iMessage. I mean, if you're into the iOS ecosystem, maybe you're giving up your apps, right? You got to buy new apps. But the only feature now that, to me, that holds iPhone users in my mind, the only feature that's still there is iMessage. Okay? That's my opinion. So if you don't care about iMessage, who is this? Who was I talking to here? If you don't care about iMessage, Pongo, if you're not like, well, if I didn't have iMessage, it wouldn't be the deal breaker. And by the way, you can still join those group chats with an Android phone now because of RCS and how iMessage has adopted the RCS protocol as well. You can now trade pictures and stickers and emojis with iPhone users between Android and iPhone without there being much of a problem anymore because of the RCS. So you're not really losing much, except the pure iMessage experience. And if that means that much to you, then yes, but that's the only thing. You're gaining with the Pixel in my mind these days. The AI is killing, okay? We're going to talk about a feature here called, what's this feature called? We're going to talk about a feature here called Magic Q that is what I've been waiting for these devices to take advantage of, okay? It's the feature that I think is going to rule all other features, period, and figuratively and actually. All right, let's go ahead and so should you switch to an iPhone, Pongo? That's all depends on how deeply rooted you are in the iMessage ecosystem. That's really the only thing that should be holding you back at this point, in my opinion. Or unless you just like the aesthetic look of the iPhone. That's another thing. Some people just like the look of the iPhone, the colors that they have. But as far as features go, the iPhone is not killing it. It's not a slam dunk like it used to be in previous years. I would argue it hasn't been that way in a little while, but it's definitely not the way it used to be. All right, let's go ahead and go to the call-in section. We got Owen over here, and I really want to hear what Owen has to say. Give me 1 second, Owen. I'm gonna put these headphones on so I can hear you. But in the meantime, while I get these headphones up, let's hit up this chat. In the chat, he also says, I have produced an entire podcast using iPhone. Whoa. Well, there you go. That's why I asked Aaron, because I know Aaron does a lot of work with the iOS ecosystem. So maybe there are people who are editing video on the iPhone. And if you are doing that, if you have that workflow that Aaron has, then there is no substitute. Get you an iPhone and be happy, because no other ecosystem and no other hardware can match what the iPhone can do in the creative space. So I'll put that there. And if you don't care about iMessage Pongo, then what about the situation we just talked about with the creativity? If you're not editing video on a phone, then no, there's nothing that should be holding you back at this point, Pongo. At the very least, give it a try and see how you feel about it. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, without a doubt. And the syncing over of your data from the iPhone to the Android ecosystem has gotten so much easier than what it used to be. So that's not even an issue anymore. I would say at this point, I feel confident saying to an iPhone user, yes, now is the time to give Pixel a try, especially with the AI stuff that you're getting that Apple can't match right now. All right, Owen, here we go. Let's put this on. All right, let me switch over here, Owen, and we should be good. Owen, I've accepted your invite there. Let me see if I can. All right, let's do it. How's it going, Owen? How you been? First of all, how you been?
I'm good. I haven't taken my meds yet, and I haven't had my coffee. You got me fired up. My blood pressure's gone up 20 points because of every dumb thing you said in the last 10 minutes.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing it.
All right, let's talk about build quality. I disagree that the Pixel line and the Nexus line before it have never had a good build quality.
No. Don't get me wrong. It's not that they weren't good. They just weren't on Apple iPhone level. That's what I'm saying.
Well, no, because they were iterative. They were building on the system. They were building up and deciding what they needed in an in a SKU. iPhone had the luxury of deciding from the outset that they wanted their hardware to be integrated. That was the entire point of the walled garden.
Right.
The ecosystem there. This is the big thing. I disagree with everything you just said. It's not all about iMessage, and this is why what Google is doing with integrating.
You're gonna have to give me some examples of in what area iPhone is killing it in. I want to know.
It's not the iPhone specifically. The iPhone is the hub.
Mm-hmm.
From the iPhone, everything else sort of like spans out. With the iPhone, Apple are moving beyond hardware. That they're starting to think in terms of services about what they can add to give people value add to make buying the Apple system more attractive, especially as the EU keeps dunking on them about all these unique.
I think the EU should dunk on them.
They shouldn't. They should. But here's the thing: I have no problem with patents and keeping things for yourself. I think that in terms of some protocols like iMessage and things like that, sure, okay, I can understand why the EU should say no, that isn't right. You should open that up to Google and Samsung so that you can share the ecosystem. But when you're talking about things like continuity and the way that your Apple devices hand off to each other and the way they want to open that up, that's a unique selling point. That's something that Google have been like itching with their greedy little hands, trying to get Chrome to integrate with the iPhone and the iPad 4 for years now, and they haven't been able to.
But is that a reason to buy the phone?
It is a reason to buy the phone.
Okay.
You got to remember, I work for Microsoft, and I prefer Apple.
Mm-hmm.
I think that should say everything.
No, you're right. I mean, I keep that in mind whenever I hear you put on your cape for Apple. I always have to remind myself that you work for Microsoft, so this carries way more weight than it would in a normal situation, for
I,
sure.
I think the thing is that Google is still very much finding their way. I think that the Pixel line, they're they're still getting the feelings in terms of the software and things like that. But Android is pretty much gone as far as it can go as a phone device. They've started realizing what
Well, hold on. Let's keep
Apple
it to
really
let's keep it to what. All right, let's confine this to what they are doing better than the competition right now. As far as the
the
phone,
handoff,
just or the
the
handoff. You're right.
fluidity,
Okay,
the
you're
the
right.
pure
The
fluidity.
continuity
Like
continuity is a big advantage. But is
like
that the only thing though?
that is the main thing for me. Dude, you don't
Okay.
understand. Like when I want to chill out at the end of the day, the fact that I'm just carrying my Apple Watch around in my living room knows that to automate switching my TV on and turning to my favorite channel.
Hmm.
That's immeasurable. That's awesome. Like
See that there. See
Microsoft
there.
and Google doesn't do that.
You're right. The ecosystem, I will agree with you. All right. So we have a difference of opinion here. So I agree with you in the sense that the ecosystem is better. But just in a confined conversation about the hardware,
Hmm.
I don't think that hardware wise the iPhone does anything better than the Pixel at this point. Matter of fact,
Not anymore.
um
Not anymore. Not
no.
since not since they started working on their sensors.
Yes.
I think they
Mhm.
both collectively dunk on Snapdragon.
Okay. Really?
Um, yeah,
Oh
I,
wow.
I, I think in terms of horsepower, in terms of pure benchmarking, both those phones with their capability dunk all over anything Snapdragon's doing, and I think
Hmm.
that it's only going to get more and more apparent as we move into the age of ARM.
Hmm.
You
Yeah,
know,
and
everyone.
that's I'm glad you brought that up.
You
the
know,
ARM connection.
ARM is the future. Like
Yeah.
everyone knows that ARM is the future. I mean, like
What now
I've been
you know
saying
what?
for a while, and
I'm sorry, go
go
ahead. Go
ahead.
ahead.
I've been saying for a while that x86 is on borrowed time. It
Mm-hmm.
is.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That code
It's been
base
that way for
is,
a while.
yeah, it's basic at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
What about risks?
I I think Risk is going to have a separate implementation. I think that that's going to be more important on server side because of the way it consumes power.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I
Certainly,
remember there
ARM
was a
and Risk.
time when people there was a race between Risk and ARM. Uh, and I mean this was maybe 20 years ago,
I
but
think that I think they're part of the same component at this stage. I think that ARM is going to be more relevant in the home space. I think that in the next few years you're going to see more integration with ARM processors in everything from your laptops to your TVs,
mhm, yeah.
so that you have hardware that is less power hungry
Okay.
in the
Yeah.
way that it processes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that
And more efficient. I mean,
yes,
yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, listen.
It's
Well, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna. Well, I didn't want to cut you off, but I wanted to wrap up this particular conversation. And if you wanted to stay here for another conversation, we could do that too. But I wanted to let you finish
Okay.
what your thought was there.
I'll put myself on mute and sort of jump in when I need to.
Awesome. Well, yeah, and just let me know in the chat when you have something to say. You just chill out right here,
Okay,
bro.
cool.
All right, everyone. So and that's Owen. I appreciate Owen calling in and giving his opinion. Valued as always. Again, super relevant, and also the perspective from a perspective of someone who I wouldn't say works for the competition because that's not as big of a thing it was in the 80s and 90s. um, but you get the point. Someone who is on the opposite side of the fence still prefers a particular platform for the continuity, and which is a big feature. I mean, it's an overall feature of the walled garden, right? I will admit that Apple does have a better ecosystem. Like no one does it better than Apple when it comes to ecosystems. She made a comment here about the ecosystem as well. A walled garden is real. I would love a Fold by Samsung or Google, but I'm stuck in my content hole, and that's what it evolves into. I mean, when you switch platforms, you're also switching the apps, because now you got to buy all new apps, because these apps that you find on the Google Play Store are not the same apps that you get on the iOS store. They're going to be different, so you got to buy the same apps all over again. Sometimes it's a compatibility issue. You won't find the functionality in the Google platform or the Google ecosystem that you find in the Apple ecosystem. So there are certain things, but speaking from a pure hardware standpoint, there's nothing to me that the iPhone is doing now that other companies aren't doing and doing better, except for continuity. He's got a point there. Continuity is something that, because they own the hardware and the software, that's something that they can do that other companies really don't have the ability to do, honestly. Let's go to the chat here. FaceTime iPhone. BM, morning, brother. How's it going? What's wrong with Nothing Phone Watch ecosystem? I got to get more into the Nothing Phone to find more about that. Rev Ray, good morning. How you doing? Thanks for joining us. You can run Graphene OS on Pixels. Whoa, that's what's up. I didn't know that. Yes, I edit all the time on my iPad, says Aaron. Aaron also says that he does not like editing on his iPhone. So though you can do it, and if you're going to do it, the iPhone is the system to do it on. They not only have the power to do it, they have the structure to do it. They're building out iOS to be a creator's hub, honestly, with iPhones at the center of that. What else we got here? Second is Snapdragon 8 Elite. Editing on iPhone is not fun. 725. Second is Snapdragon 8 Elite, Samsung 25, and third is A18 Pro, 16 Pro. This is coming from The Rock here. What current biggest benchmark mobile processor is? Ooh, the OnePlus. Hey, so you're saying the OnePlus has the best processor, and that's followed by Snapdragon 8 Elite. Third is the A18 iPhone 16 Pro. Benchmarks. I want to see these. That's interesting, The Rock. Thanks for that tidbit. So third on the list is Apple on the power on cell phones. I want to look at that. I've always been under the impression that the A series chips from Apple were the cream of the crop for mobile. But I want to look at those benchmarks. What else we got here? Also, a reason to buy the iPhone. I have no interest in being locked in a walled garden. A reason not to buy the iPhone. Yeah, you're into the walled garden. When you get into the Apple iPhone ecosystem, that's just what it is. But there's good and bad with that. So, and some people feel like the good outweighs the bad. I certainly did for a very long time. Owen says, yeah, risk is on a different trajectory purely because of how it's evolving computing. I've always thought RISC and ARM were really interesting alternates to x86, and I followed them for a very long time. Like I said, this is 20 years. They've been RISC and ARM has been doing their thing for a very long time, and people just didn't. The popularity of Intel kept those technologies from really taking off. But since Intel's been on it's probably, I don't know what started it. I don't know if ARM put Intel on the decline or Intel's decline started the rise of ARM. I don't know which happened first, but they're both in play right now. Locked in the Apple ecosystem. When you add to other Apple products, it's amazing. Yeah, and that's coming from Aaron, and that's what me and Owen was talking about. The continuity between all of the products and services. Only Apple can do that kind of thing, and they do it very well. All right, let's go on to what we were talking about with the Pixel. Oh boy. So yeah, if you guys are enjoying the content, go ahead and hit the like button for me. And if you want to see this kind of content more, hit the subscribe button. We do this Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to kind of whenever. Join us if you feel like it. All right, moving on to the specifics of this Google event. So, couple things that we're going to talk about here with, let's pull the page up here. This is the Google 10 or Google Pixel 10 right here. And we're going to talk about some specs while we have this graphic up right here. So we're looking at Magic Queue, some of the features from the Google event. So we're going to talk about the Google event now from yesterday, We watched it here on the live stream. Check it out if you haven't checked it out and you want to see the live reactions to what was happening. But a couple things I noticed from the show, from the Made by Google event that I'm going to mention here before we get into the specifics of the phones and all of the other hardware. And I'm going to switch over to OWN 2 here in a second, right after we get through with these. Yeah. So Pixel phones, features, Magic Q. So this is one of the features I think is really interesting. The Magic Q feature is a feature that I've been talking about for a very long time. And this is one of those features, Pongo, that I was saying this is a good time to get a Pixel phone. Because I've been saying for a very long time, if Google and all these companies are going to be taking my information in exchange for their services, at least do something good with the info that I'm giving you. Do something with it, organize it, present it to me in useful ways at useful times when I might need it. That's what this first feature is all about. Can we pull that up here? That's what this first feature is all about, really. And what do we got here? They got Gemini Live pics up here, but I don't want to see that talking about this. We'll show this graphic right here. But this feature, this is the feature right here. But the feature basically takes all the information on your phone and says, when will this information be relevant? Makes connections between the information and then presents it to you in useful times. Case in point, say you were texting your friend John about a birthday party. Now, your phone, because of this feature called Magic Q, your phone knows who John is. Your phone knows John's birthday. It knows some of the things that you've talked to John about because it's pulling information from your messages that you've had with John. It's pulling in information that it knows from John's other information that you have about John there, or it pulls information from John's socials. And now you have information about John and you're talking to John. And you're talking to John about his birthday. Your phone intuitively starts presenting you with birthday present options for him based on all of that information. I think that's cool. That's your phone using all the information that's gathering on you anyway, being used to help you contextually at a time when you may need that information. Same with like if you were looking for a flight. You're messaging someone about a flight, or you're in your email about a flight. Now you can get information about the flight or send information about the flight to people who it's relevant to. Say you're taking the flight with your girlfriend. Okay, now it knows she's on the flight with you. It can send her, or it suggests that you send her relevant information about the flight information that you just received. I don't know. I think that gathering information that they're going to be taking on you anyway and presenting it to you in times and in situations where you might need it is so useful. And this feature called, what is it called again here? Magic Q. Like this is the dream for me. Taking my information, presenting it to me, being proactive, and that's a word they used a lot in yesterday's presentation. Proactive. I love that. Speaking of which, I thought it was very cool that Jimmy Fallon was in the event yesterday, and the whole event was being presented as a talk show. They broke the vibe a few times, but for the most part, the overall feel felt like a talk show, and I loved it. But anyway, moving back to the features. Conversational editing. So now you can edit, and I think this was a graphic showing that. Now you can edit photos. You can edit not videos, but you can edit photos with conversational tone. So you can pull up a photo, like say, maybe over here. You can pull up a photo like this and say, hey, could you add a different background to this photo? You don't have to like pick a different background, select a different background. You just conversationally say this to the Photos app, because this is all happening in Google Photos. And this is not a Google Pixel thing. If you use Google Photos, no matter what platform you're on, you're going to have this feature available to you. So this is kind of cool. So they're coming out with this feature that you can just talk to the AI in your photo editing software and tell it what you want to change, and it will just do that. I think that's so cool. Conversational editing is what that's called. Pixel Journal. I wish I had things queued up here that can like illustrate these things I'm talking about right now. I didn't do a good job, admittedly, of pulling this up. I really didn't. Oh, there we go. Oh no, this is not showing that. I thought this was showing the conversation. Okay, all right. I thought this was showing the contextual editing here, but it's not. Um, oh, maybe it is. Yeah, it is. There's the contextual editing there, so you can pretty much tell it what you want, and it'll add those things to the photo for you. I think this is going to add a it's going to reduce the glare and add the sky to this particular picture right here. Conversationally, you just tell it what to do and it'll do it. That's cool. You could do things like tell it just to make the picture better and it'll do that. I like that. What do we got in the chat here? Aaron says, nope, I don't want AI in that much of my information. They're taking it anyway, Aaron. They already have that information. They've got it. Intel stupidity and greed killed Intel, says Owen. Very interesting. Very interesting. Shing says, agreed at The Rock. Corporations are going to have to remove it from any company device. Yeah. I hope Magic Q can be shut off by app. For example, if I'm browsing my medical history or editing a draft confidential contract, that stuff can't be bounced to some server. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, all right. Let's go back to these features. I'm just going to run through the rest of them I thought were interesting from the show real quick. Another few new things from the Google show I thought was interesting. Camera coach. I think this is here's a camera coach. Now this is interesting, but this guides you through taking a good photo. So it basically says, hey, you're not framed properly. Bring up the camera a little bit. All right, now zoom in 2 times to get a more cinematic photo. I don't think anyone's gonna use that. The people are just trying to get it. Like no one's gonna like sit for that long to have the AI train you on how to give you a tutorial on every picture you're about to take. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be super useful, but it could be if you have the time. Next thing they have up here is Pixel Snap. So this is pixel charging. I don't think we have a graphic for this up here. But this is a pixel charging thing here, which I think is very interesting as well. There we go. Pixel Snap is like Apple's MagSafe. I made the mistake of saying it's better than MagSafe, and Owen ripped me to shreds. I won't say that today, Owen. I will just say that it's on par. It's on par with Apple's MagSafe. Works in the same way. Qi 2 enabled, 15-watt charging. This thing is really cool because it will work with all your Apple MagSafe stuff. So if you're switching over to a Pixel Pongo from Apple and you have MagSafe stuff, all your MagSafe stuff will work on the new Pixel. Brilliant. You can't ask for better than that. Not just MagSafe, any Qi 2 compatible wireless charging dongle or whatever would work with this. So you're good to go. Updates for 7 years worth of updates. That's awesome. You buy a Pixel, you're going to get 7 years worth of security and feature updates. I love that. Material UI 3 coming to this device. And I'm super excited for Material UI 3. Material UI is the UI on the operating system for Android 16, if they're going to update it. I think it just looks better than what the iPhone is doing. I'm not going to knock the iPhone for their liquid UI, but it's not doing well amongst the people that I know who even love Apple themselves. So it's whatever. Voice translations during phone calls was a very big thing. Do we have a graphic for that here? Voice translation during phone calls, I think, was very cool. They displayed it acting or showing, or they displayed it working live at the Made by Google event. The demo didn't go off without a hitch. The demo had some hiccups, but you can see the potential of the feature. It basically translates what you're saying live or over a phone call, with your tone, with your voice, with your inflections. It was very cool. It was a very cool demo that I liked a lot, that I thought, okay, this is going to change a lot of people's lives, especially if you travel a lot, especially if you're talking to relatives who don't speak the language. Owen Knight says, this is MagSafe. Essentially, yeah, bro. Essentially, it is MagSafe. Aaron says, I have been playing around with Apple Journal on my iPad lately. We're going to talk about Pixel Journal as well. Pixel has Journal now, so that's interesting. What does a journal on the Apple iPad do, Aaron. I'd be interested in that. Next things we got up here is voice translate during calls. So we just talked about that. Recorder and camera integrations with Notebook LM. This is going to be big. This is one of those things they didn't really go into that I had to do a little bit of digging about. But you're going to be able to send your recorder recordings from your Pixel phone. There's going to be integration with the recorder app and Notebook LM. And if you don't know what Notebook LM is, it's probably the most useful AI tool I've come across. Like, I don't care what your AI tool you're using, this is probably the most useful. It's not the best AI tool, but it's the most useful AI tool in my opinion, for what it does. Through any event, you'll be able to send your audio recordings from the audio app to Notebook LM. You'll also be able to send, what do we else we have here? You'll also be able to send camera information to Notebook LM. So you can take a picture. Notebook LM will you can, like, I think natively send that photo from the photo app to Notebook LM. It'll analyze the picture, knows what's in the picture, and file it for you with other relevant information. You could also always put this into your own separate notebook. But this is just totally automated functions from AI between different apps. I love that. You have the option to go in and do it yourself, but this is a great way to handle it when you don't want to do it yourself. Making music with the recorder, another recording app feature. Making music so you can make trumpet sounds with your mouth into the recorder. It will change those sounds into whatever instrument. AI is getting really good, and that's the recorder app. So a lot of features coming to the recorder app. Call translation we talked about as well. AI. So Gemini Nano is coming. I think that's cool to have a really small, fast AI model that works locally on your phone. Again, locally on your phone. So none of this information you're feeding it has to go out to the outside servers and get shared with third-party companies. Local AI. Okay, I love that. Material UI 3 expressive. So we talked about that. I'm waiting for that to come. I won't be able to talk too much about that until I actually get it in hand and take a look at it. But it's all over. You can see an example of that wherever you look at Google Pixel information. What do we got here? Gemini coming to Google Assistant in October. We talk a lot about how I think the Google Assistant is trash. Hey Google. Google Assistant is trash right now. They're going to fix it. Supposedly Gemini's coming to Google Assistant. It's going to make it do all kind of cool and stuff, neat stuff. Oh boy. Okay, they have. Oh boy. Why did I say Google? Oh, okay, now we're good. I set all of my devices off. All of them. My bad. Oh, my bad. If I set your Google devices off, I'm sorry. My bad, you guys. Everybody's Google device probably went off right now. Okay, my bad. Anyway, moving on from that. And that's all of the features for the phones that I thought was interesting. So all the features for the phones I thought was interesting. Owen, if you're there, let's switch over to Owen after we get to the chat here. Let's catch up with the chat. And Owen, we're gonna switch over if you're still there. I think we did get caught up with the chat actually. She says, "Really, Aaron, how do you like it?" The AI, I think. All right, we did get caught up with the chat. Owen, if you're there, let's switch back over to Owen here and see what Owen has to say about any or all of this stuff here. Owen, you there with me?
Hey, man.
All right. Cool.
Hello.
All right, I'm back with you.
Hey. So, thoughts. Blue phone.
Yes.
Oh,
all right.
That's sexy. Oh, that
you like
blue
it?
phone. Oh, that is just. It's not quite as nice as the copper orange.
Yeah. I'll agree.
It's nice.
I'll agree with that.
And
the copper orange we're talking about is the iPhone, you guys, in case you were wondering.
Yeah. That's going to be the phone of the year this year for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
The MagSafe is the first pro-consumer thing we've seen out of Google or Apple in half a decade.
Mm-hmm.
So it's great because it means that you're not if you choose to switch between one ecosystem to the other, you're not losing all your hardware.
Exactly.
This is an inevitable response of USB-C, which is one of those connections where it's like, why didn't we just do this from the beginning?
Exactly. Yeah.
In terms of privacy, from looking at the roadmap for ChatGPT 7, we're going to be looking at integration from ChatGPT 6.5 to 7, which means around that point, ChatGPT anticipates, and this is the country you need to watch out for. In the UK,
Mm-hmm.
they allow more integration as long as you have privacy safeguards. If it happens here, it's gonna happen in the States.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I mean, they're always we're always well. The EU is preemptive in all of this, and else is kind of reacting to their
No,
decisions.
no, no,
But
no, not the EU. I'm talking about the UK specifically. Like with the Online Safety Act, if you look at the look at Australia and the UK, happen
mm-hmm.
here first, and then the foot drops everywhere else. I would get used to the idea that you being a product is just the new paradigm, and that sorry, The Rock, the time to object to that reality would have been about 20 years ago when the Lawnmower Man 2 was warning us about two-tier internet.
Mm.
That 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 really was the time to sort of like really object to the idea of internet privacy. The the objection to have now is how our governments safeguard our privacy and utilize it. I would personally theorize that Apple isn't too worried about AI for the moment because they're just going to integrate ChatGPT into Siri from 26
Well,
anyway.
see, I think the problem with that theory, and I would agree with you if I didn't feel like Apple was so big into security. If I felt like Apple was like, oh yeah, whatever, but they're so
Do you know
big
who
into security
do you
and
know who I think
privacy.
that do you know who I think they're going to buy?
Hmm.
Anthropic.
Whoa, that would be interesting because
I
Anthropic is
think they're
not
going
really your they're not really your mainstream AI choice. They're really a
they're
corporate enterprise
right.
AI. So
They're
that would be
also
interesting.
privacy orientated.
True. True.
They're heavily into, and the thing is you got to remember the iPhone is largely, the Apple ecosystem is favored with a lot of corporations anyway. Because it's built on the idea of being privacy orientated, rock
Mm-hmm.
solid security.
Yep.
Everything you do on Apple, it asks if you're absolutely sure you want to do that.
Especially connect to
Windows,
go out to the internet.
yep, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Apple in the next 18 months is probably going to make a swing for Anthropic.
That would be super interesting. And you guys heard it here first. I would not. That doesn't seem too far fetched, honestly, because of the privacy connection. Because no other AI huge AI company right now, especially if they're not going to do in house models, which I think they're still going to do at some. I think they're going to still do in house models to some degree. But I do think this is an interesting idea, and I do think it's credible only because of the privacy security aspect of this.
I think I genuinely think that Claude is probably the thing that they're looking at right now, and Federighi is probably thinking we need Siri to be that smart.
Mm.
Especially if like they were looking at Magic Queue and things like that, they were thinking because the thing is that when you're looking at CarPlay and things like that, you want to be able to say, Siri, what's my bank balance? And to never to take your hands off the wheel. You need to be able to
Yes.
do things like that.
Yes.
That's a
And
unique selling point. The seamless ecosystem.
you're
You
right.
know,
And
I panicked.
I
I
was just about
panicked
to
then
say,
because like I've got like
no, go
yeah,
ahead. Go ahead, Owen. Go ahead.
your brother took his life into his own hands there because I've got like I'm surrounded by Apple devices. Like, but that's the game. Like, that's the aim. That's the goal. That's everything that Apple's geared towards. And the thing is that I think that's the other unique selling point. Everybody knows with Google that you're the product.
Hmm.
People tend to think that less with Apple because they don't do ads. Not
Yeah.
really, not in the way that Google do.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm. Well,
I
they don't make their
subscribe to
money that
Apple
way.
to no, they
No.
don't. Like, if you look at the way they financed F1, for example, they got a bunch of financing from F1 themselves. They part financed it themselves,
Hmm.
um, and they're selling it as an Apple TV exclusive, and they've got exclusive broadcast rights through the BBC and NBC and a few other places like that. I
Hmm.
think
Hmm.
they've
Hmm.
already made their money back, and they barely did anything in the theaters.
Well,
It's only
that's fair
just crossed
about
the 600 million.
Yeah, their Apple is all about the margins, and I mean that's always been their thing. They don't really care about quantity. They're like, we make the most on margins, so we don't have to sell a lot of whatever. And I think they carry that
Yeah.
business model into everything they do. It's all about the margins.
I seriously, I seriously think, especially after looking at yesterday, because I think that Google purposely like time their events to just before Apple's events to say, "Ah, look what we've been doing."
Well, yeah,
So
I mean,
Apple
yeah,
always looks like they're playing catch up.
It's a Microsoft Apple thing too, going on with Google and Apple.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So it's like Apple's got their reveal on September 9th for their iPhone range, where they reveal the A19 Pro. They
Hmm.
all they always have crosstalk, so they know vaguely what each other's doing and things like that. By the way, Liquid is actually quite nice. You should
Oh,
play with
get
it.
out of
You really
here!
can.
Get oh, come
It's
on,
nice.
Owen.
I love it. I
I
love it.
respected everything you said until you said liquid is nice. What?
I dude, I really do like Liquid. Like I like the borderless idea. I do.
All right.
I like
Well,
material as well, so I'm very conflicted. But
yeah,
my
there we
big
go.
takeaway from this is, especially after yesterday, I think that they're going to spend probably about 2 years, sort of like with Chat GPT integrated. I would
Hmm.
expect within 18 months for there to be some leak via, I wouldn't say Mark Gurman because the guy's a hack, but
Yeah, yeah.
someone
Well, listen,
that,
I hope your Anthropic
yeah,
thing comes to fruition.
I think they're going to make a play for Anthropic.
Okay. Well,
I
listen,
really do.
I'm looking forward to it, brother. I'm looking forward to it. Well, let me finish up these details about the phones. Are you going to stick around for a little while?
Yeah, I'll stick around. I'll
All
let
right,
you
cool,
know if
cool.
I'm going to pop in again.
All right, appreciate it, brother. All right, so let's get back to this these stats for the phones here, and again, appreciate Owen for his insight. We're going to talk about the details of the phones now that we talked about my favorite features from the event as a whole. But let's talk about the phones specifically. We're going to go to some pictures here and look at the stats. Are we over to the stats? Yeah, there we go. So let's look at the stats of the phone. Talk about some details. So we got the Pixel 10, $799. What else we got here for the stats? 6.3-inch display. We got 48 megapixel wide camera. Now we got 3 cameras on these, which is interesting. That's something they didn't do last year with the baseline models that they're doing this year with the baseline models. So again, you could literally get a baseline model to this year and get 90% of what you're gonna get with the Pro phones. Honestly, I mean, I'm not a big digital zoom dude, so this 20 times zoom on the regular, I don't care about the 100 times zoom on the Pro. Like it's all digital, so who cares? But anyway, they do both have 10 times zooms though, so that's pretty cool. So 48 megapixel wide, 13 megapixel ultra wide, 10.8 megapixel telephoto. And 20 times zoom with the baseline camera. 4K video recording. Now, a thing with the Pro model here, we got 8K video recording. Now that is interesting. Okay. And night sight video boost, or those features right there. You have to. I don't think they're doing those features on device. So if it's anything like last year, you would have to send those videos would get sent off, processed on Google servers, and then sent back to your device for you to use. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong about that, but I think that's what this is talking about here. So on the Pro, 50 megapixel wide, 48 megapixel ultra wide. That's a huge jump in megapixels from the ultra wide, though. 48 megapixel telephoto. Those are huge bumps in the camera. But again, I've never been. I've never cared about the size of the camera in a Pixel phone because the computational aspect of the cameras is going to be so good. You're going to get good photos no matter what. Performance-wise, we got 12 gigabytes of RAM. They both have Tensor G5 chips. So 12 gigabytes of RAM on the baseline model, on the baseline Pixel 10. The Pro has, what do we got here on the Pro? 16 gigabytes of RAM. 24-hour battery. Faster charging, so 55% on 30 minutes of charge, 70% on 30 minutes of charge on the Pro, which is super interesting. Storage options for the baseline model, we got 128 gigabytes and 256 gigabytes. For the Pro models, we got 128, 256, 215, and 1 terabyte. And those are the two models of the phones there. We got the Pixel 10 and Pixel 10 Pro XL. Yeah, here we go. Let's look at some finer details here. I think we already talked about the little details there. Pictures of the phone, the camera system here, which, like I said, I'm really liking that they have the 3 cameras on the baseline phones this year. Stabilization, Stabe is better. I've never liked the video on Pixel phones. I've always thought everybody did video better on Pixel phones than Pixel phones, like Apple per se or Samsung. I've always thought their video looks better. What do we got here in the chat? See what the perfect lineup. Average consumers don't need huge cameras. Absolutely. Like I said, the baseline model, the Pixel 10 Pro, seems to be really good this year. Get rid of the notch, Apple and Google. I'm tempted to get the Fold, says William. Thanks for joining us, William. Good morning. The Fold looks good. This is the first year I've considered the Fold 2. Now, again, like I say all the time, the Fold, no matter when you do a Fold, you're going to make some concessions. There are going to be some concessions being made for these phones. So the cameras aren't going to be as good. We're going to take a look here in a second. The cameras won't be as good. The screens won't be as good. But you're getting the folding functionality, right? So that's the big thing. Let's take a look at these. I think we already took a look at the Pro stats here, the cameras. What else we got here? I do like the look of them. Though. I mean, a lot of people don't like the camera bump, the camera visor. I like the camera visor. I'm a big fan of it. Tensor G5, not going to be the fastest chip on the block. Okay, it's really built for AI. So we're never going to compete, or the Pixels are never going to compete with the Apple iPhones of the world and the Samsungs of the world. Not even the nothing phones. And someone brought up another phone. I forgot what phone that was. It had this crazy chip in it that was fast. The Rock put me onto that. Okay, well, I think we caught up on the chat. But yeah, I don't think that's going to be a big thing. Looking at the Fold here. Let's take a look at the specs of the Fold. 8-inch Super Actual Flex, the largest display yet, most powerful AI on Pixel, an amazing Pixel camera folded in. I think the cameras are going to be not as good as the Pro model, the 10 Pro model, but it has the benefit of being able to take selfies with the rear camera, which I think is a killer feature. Because you can just open the phone up and just point the rear-facing camera at you and be able to look on the outside screen at what you're doing. That's marvelous. That's brilliant. Explore in 3D. Let's take a look at this in 3D. Oh, whoa. Can we go back? What happened? Oh, they ruined my 3D experience. Oh, I was looking at it in 3D. Why'd you ruin it? Okay, there we go. Oh, okay. There's some. Okay. As soon as I touch it, it goes away. Oh, this is so garbage. I think this is a problem with the site, though. I don't think that's me. All right, let's get to the stats of this thing. Oh, so it's IP68 dust and water resistant. So IP68 really just means dust. Don't try to dunk this in the water. It's not. You might be able to splash some water on this, but that's about it. The real big thing here is the dust protection. Okay, that's the big thing, and it's the only foldable with dust IP68 dust protection. Good example of using the bigger screen. I like that functionality right there, being able to stand it up. I think they show being able to take a selfie with the front-facing camera. That's a killer feature. All right, so let's get to some of the stats here. We talked about all of these other things here, the G charging, all of those things. All right, here we go. Stats. So Pixel 10 Fold, $17.99 is what we got for the price here. We also have the pre-orders available right now, but these phones won't be available, or the Pixel Fold won't be available until, what do we got? Oh, the 8th, or it's 28th. So pre-orders now available the 28th. So if you want one of these, you can pick one up on the 28th at any retailer that carries phones. But you can pre-order now. The colors are going to be Moonstone and Jade for the Fold. Eh. Oh, the Pro though. Oh, the Pro and the Pro XL. They come in moonstone, jade, a porcelain, and obsidian. I'm partial to the porcelain, honestly. But you can't get the porcelain in the fold? Chat, that's trash. That's garbage. What the crap? William said, ultimately, I'll probably stick with my habit of buying the odd numbered releases. I'm really hyped for next year already. Next year, maybe the first fold device. Yeah, I would hold off. Yeah, if you've got one last year's device, hold off. 2026 is supposed to be the year of the foldable for iPhones. So super interesting there, William. Z Fold is great taking selfies, and they have a cool 2-cam recording mode with video. I like that. Most phones have that dual cam recording mode. That's kind of cool. I like that feature. But yeah, the feature to take a selfie with the rear facing camera, the best camera on the phone, is a bonus. Yeah, that's a huge thing. The Rock says, in IP ratings, the first rating is dust and second is water. 6 is completely dust tight. 8 is permanent submersion in water. Both are highest rating. I would not, you're not. For me, the IP68, when I see the IP68, it's, to me, I'm only concerned with the dust. IP ratings for me are not for, like, yeah, it's water, but I would never use or trust an IP rating for water submersion. I just don't. But the big thing is dust. I mean, not many people are going to submerge their phone into water, but you're going to be putting this phone in and out of your pocket. And that IP68 for dust protection is going to be huge, considering that, like, we had problems with dust breaking screens. That was crazy. Whoa, eInk gifted 10 memberships. What? Let's get the air horns for eInk. Shane Clear was like, Rod, you need more members, okay? You need more members. I'm going to help you out. Listen, I appreciate all the new members, however I get them. Ken, thanks for the new membership. Joe, thanks for the new membership. Ricardo, thanks for the new membership. You guys are the best. Again, if you're liking the content, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. We do this Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to kind of whenever. Today's a unique situation. We're talking about a big event that happened yesterday. We normally would be talking about a bunch of eInk and tech topics, but today it's mainly Google and eNote we got later on. What else we got here? Let's see. Stats. 8-inch screen on the outside for the Fold. 6.4-inch screen on the or 8-inch screen on the inside. 6.4-inch screen on the outside for the Fold. For the Pro, 6.3 or 6.8 inch if you get in the Pro or the Pro XL. Cameras. There was comparing the two cameras between the Pro and the Fold. 48 megapixel again. Like I said, you're going to take a hit in the camera department with the Folds. You're going to take a hit in the processor compartment or department for the Folds, unless this has the tensor. Oh no! So you're not taking a hit in the processor department this year. But you are taking a hit in the camera. You are taking a hit in the screen. This is actual and super actual flex. So super actual is going to be the outside screen, and actual is going to be the inside, the bigger inside display. 16 gigabytes of RAM, Tensor 5 G5 chip. Awesome. They're saying the same battery life between the two. I mean, you have a bigger battery, obviously. I think it's a 5,000 milliamp hour battery in the Fold versus a 4,900 or 4,800 milliamp hour battery in the Pro. Interestingly enough, though, the battery in the non-Pro is bigger than the battery in the Pro. I mean, I think someone mentioned that it was due to the cameras. So you get a bigger battery in the non-Pro Pixel 10 this year, which should give you a little bit more battery life, since how it's not pushing as big of intensive of a screen. So it's not wasting power there. What else there? The cameras aren't as big, taking less power. Like, you should get way more power out of the smaller phone this year. Bigger battery. It takes less power to run that particular phone. Yeah, I think you should get really good battery out of the baseline model this year. And that is the Fold. So that's all the details I have on the phones, you guys. Anything you? Hold on. I'm coming over. Hold on one second. Owen has something. Owen's going to say something to you guys. All right, so let's get it, Owen. What you got?
How much do you think, with the regional conversions, the Pixel Fold Pro with 1 terabyte of storage is converted to USD?
How much in what now?
How much converted to dollars
Mm-hmm.
do you think the Google Fold Pro is with 1 terabyte of storage?
Oh,
How
I
much
don't,
do you,
man. Listen, I was
how
okay.
much do you think?
I
How
would
much do you think
say
Google are asking for this product?
1,500.
So you guys will be paying with your tariffs, mind you,
Mm-hmm.
1,799 of your freedom dollars. In
Ooh.
conversion rates in the UK, we will be asked to pay what the equivalent of 2,824.12.
Wow. That's crazy.
I'll
Yeah,
stick with my
that's
Apple phone.
whoa. I wonder why that is though. Is it just the tariffs? I mean, because Apple's not charging that though.
Because America's full of fascists. That's why.
You can't say words like fascist in a morning show. Owen, come on.
All right, they're crypto capitalists. This is immoral. That's asking too much a
Yeah,
price
yeah,
for
yeah.
their products. That is
I wonder
passing
why.
on American tariffs to the rest of the world, and they wonder why America is unpopular at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know why
Like,
that would be the case. I don't know why it would be so much more. People face this
I'm
whole same
clenching my.
thing with the Supernote
This is
in certain parts of the
discrimination.
world.
That's all it is. This is discrimination. Like I'm actually clenching my butt cheeks because
Oh my god.
I'm actually nervous. I'm actually nervous at this point how much Apple's going to charge for their foldable. Like I'm
William says, Alex says USA is the best. You're right, Alex. I'm not gonna hold you. The USA is the best. But William says the tariffs would affect the price of U.S. citizens, not people in the UK. What say
evidently
you? What
not,
say you,
my
Owen?
friend. Evidently not. Like, I think what Google have done is they said, well, Americans, they're going to eat all their burgers and they're going to bitch and whine incessantly about prices going up for the price of freedom. And then what they're going to do is they're going to pass that cost along to the European and the
Listen,
British counterparts.
hold that thought to the price
It's,
of freedom because we're going to talk about that later.
but it's okay because we're a richer country.
Well, hey, I
Uh,
mean, listen, cash rules.
Our pound is worth more right now. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
You guys over there, your podunk colonized rebel country can be poor. It's fine. We'll carry the cost. We'll be the bank of mum and dad. That's fine. $3 grand for a phone is stupid, though.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
hope
yeah.
I hope it fails.
That's
Like,
too much. That's too much. Yeah, that's too much. I mean, foldables are expensive, but when getting one costs that much, no matter what the what the MSRP is, that's ridiculous. That's
I think
ridiculous.
this is what
Someone
takes
should
it.
recognize that.
I think this is what's interesting because this is probably what's hitting the tech market as well. Because,
Hmm.
like I said to you the other a couple of months ago when I bought my Onyx Books Tab XC Pro, um, I paid for that in pounds what you paid in dollars.
Mm,
You know,
yeah, yeah,
and I still get to be treated like crap by the European tech support.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
I must actually be a masochist with a thin dom fetish. I think that I think that's actually probably what's wrong with me. You know, it's like,
It's
why am
okay,
I
man.
paying this much?
Yeah, it's
It's
okay, dude.
not. It's not. I don't even have a wife to expect these things from.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Well, listen, Owen, I don't know. I really don't think that's fair. I think someone should recognize the fact that it costs that much and do something about it. Unfortunately, again, we're like you said, this is America. Capitalism rules. So
It's gonna
it
be
sucks.
beautiful, Tara.
All right. Well, listen. Let me finish up these stats here. Owen, you gonna hang around for a little bit longer?
Yeah, I'm going to be in here. I'm just going to
All right.
keep bugging
Cool.
you every time I have something to
All right.
say.
Cool. All right. Let me get back over and do these stats. All right, everybody. Let's. All right, we're going to finish up these stats for the Google made by Google event and move on to the next segment here. So next thing we want to talk about is the watch. So we talked about the hardware for the phones. The watch, just some specs on the watch real quick. Normal smartwatch features. So this is not groundbreaking stuff here with the watch. I mean, you can raise the watch to say stuff. I mean, AI's on the watch. You got normal smart fitness checkers, sleep tracking, all this. You know what they don't have though? You know what this watch right here doesn't have, which what it should have? It doesn't have the ability to track my water that I'm intaking or the calories that I'm intaking. Why isn't AI being used to do that? I want to be able to, I want my watch to know, I just put some food up or something to my face, then I'm drinking something. And I say, hey, I noticed you're drinking something. How many gallons or how many ounces were you just drinking? Good, okay. I noticed you were just eating something. Or I noticed you eat around this time. Have you eaten yet? What did you eat? And I tell it, and it calculates the calories and the water intake for me. I'm tired of having to do this stuff myself. AI, do it. Google, do it. I don't know. Okay, moving on. We'll move on. My bad, you guys. My bad. Okay, moving on. Stats for the phone or the watch. It has a dome display, which I think is cool. Material 3 expressive UI. They're bringing the phone UI. They're doing what Apple's doing with unifying the UI of all of the devices. So phone, watch, iPad, computer, they all have similar working functionality and similar design language to the UI. Same thing Google's doing here with the phone, the watch, and other aspects of their portfolio. Serviceable battery and display. That's the biggest thing for me. That's huge. They glossed over that. That's big. A serviceable battery. So it's a highly repairable piece of tech. Who knew that was possible in 2025? Huge. I think that's big. Like a lot of people aren't talking about that. Enough people don't mention that. A serviceable battery and display. Designed to be serviceable. Come on, you got to give it up. You know what? Let's get the applause going. Chill out. Let's get the applause going for Google for looking. Oh, that was a sad trombone. That was not what I wanted. All right, let's get the applause going. Google. Now, if you can just give me a serviceable battery and display in my phone, you know what I'm saying? Make that easy, Google. You're doing it for the watch. Make it easy for the phone. Come on now, chill out. Why don't? So Owen said he's not giving Google anything while they're pillaging his bank account. Owen, come on, you gotta give it up. You don't like the repairability of the watch? What's going on?
Sure. How much is the watch going to cost me?
I forgot. My bad, Owen. Okay, I'm going back to the stats now. My bad. I forgot, Owen. All right. So next thing we got up here for the watch is standalone emergency satellite service. I really do appreciate that. Standalone emergency satellite, awesome. Fitness coach. I complained about that during the event. If you watched my live stream during the event, I complained about it, but apparently I must have mentioned it while I was running my mouth because they did mention it during the event. They do have a fitness coach. That's not releasing until October though, so we're gonna have to wait on that. And it's not just coming to Pixel watches; it's coming to Fitbit devices as well because Google owns Fitbit and they're kind of under the same umbrella. Battery, as far as the watch goes, 30 to 40 hours on a battery. So 41 millimeter, 30 hours. 45 millimeter, 40 hours. 50% charge in 15 minutes on these. You gotta love that. Pricing for the 41 millimeter is going to be $349 for Wi-Fi and $449 for LTE. For the 45 millimeter, we got prices starting at $399 for Wi-Fi and $499 for LTE. Pre-order now, available October 9th. So that's when the watches are going to be available. And that is the Google Made for Google event. All right, you guys. All right. So yeah, that's our tech part of the show right there. We're going to go on to some eInk topics now and talk about the eNote for those who are interested. Let's go ahead and talk about some eNote stuff. The first thing I want to say is that we talked about this a little bit at the top of the show. The launch was not very good for the eNote 2. So I apologize for not having my video ready for the launch, but no one told me exactly when. I couldn't find the site information because there was none. It's just on Amazon. So there's no location for it. Interesting. And also there was no fanfare surrounding the launch. So there was no post being made about the launch. So I didn't know whether I could release my video, but I was told that I couldn't release it until the launch happened. And since I didn't have a concrete time or a link, because they never sent a link either, now I understand why I never got a link, because it's just Amazon. But here we'll show that now here. So this is I put this link in the description. So if you want the link to the Amazon store where they're selling the eNote 2, it's in the description there of the video. So we're looking at a price of $3.99. Now another thing I was confused about too. I'm just gonna pull up the email I got. I'm gonna pull up the email I got here, cause oh, can I? Oh no, I don't have to. I put that information in the show notes. Perfect. Okay, so the information I got from the email was talking about an early bird special. So if you don't know, now they don't say this on the site, okay? But if you're going to buy the eNote 2, the price on Amazon right now is $3.99. That is an early bird price, okay? So that price won't last. They don't say that here, but that I have it on good authority coming from the company that is an introductory price. The regular price is $4.49. Now, could this be a Viwoods AI paper, the kind of shenanigans that Ed hates so much, happening here too? Possibly. And Ed is the reason why this is even on my radar, because I'm like, okay, this sounds eerily like what Viwoods was doing, saying it was a price, but never ever selling it at that price. It was weird. There's not that much of a disparity between the sale price and the regular launch price like there was with the Viwoods, so it's not that big of a deal, but it's something, right? It's confusing and it's something. So right now, you can get it for $3.99. Will that price go up to $4.49 ever? I doubt it. But the information they sent me says that it's going to go up to $4.49 after the launch window. I never got information about what that launch window consisted of. Was it a day, 2 weeks, a month, a year? I don't know. That's why I really do think it's going to stay at $3.99. I don't think it's going up to $4.49, especially since it doesn't say that on Amazon's site here. I think $3.99 is the price. So blame me if it's not. It's okay. I'll take that. Let's go to the chat real quick. William says, oh my God, I can't say what he said. William also says, all aboard. Oh God, I can't say that either. Alex says, how does this eNote stack with the books Go 10.3? There's no competition. Just go with the books Go 10.3. Yeah. $4.99? I don't think it's $4.99. $3.99. Aaron, not $4.99. $3.99. So if I said $4.99, I'm my mistake. So on the Google site, it's $3.99. It's supposed to be $4.49 regular price, but I don't think it'll ever go to that price. I think they're going to keep it at $3.99. Owen says it's probably $5.99 there. It probably is. So yeah, I get it. I wouldn't pay $4.99 for this either, Aaron. Yeah. So as far as Alex goes, I don't think this isn't going to be better than the 10.3. If you're trying to choose between this and the Go 10.3, the 10.3 is cheaper and you get more for your money. So to me, that's a no-brainer. This right here is for you if you do not like touch. If you don't want touch on your tablet, this is where you go. They do a really good job of that. And if you were into the initial eNote, this is also a no-brainer because the screen is just so much better. We're going to do tests here. I'm going to test the screen brightness and whiteness here in a little bit. We're going to do a friction test as well, and I'm going to take those and update the website with those numbers. And I'm going to build a database keeping these numbers so people can go to the website and just kind of see where their device falls in those categories. Nothing is better than the Go 10.3. Listen, Aaron, I'm not gonna argue with that. People say that the Note Max might be. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. But yeah, I don't think so. Bang for buck, what you get, it's a really good deal. It's the best deal in eInk, in my opinion. What else we got here? Okay, let's go on to the next thing. So the eNote pricing. I can't really say anything about it because, like I said, it is what it is there. $399, I think it's going to stay at that. I do have an unboxing video coming today. Like I said, I got to amend it with a couple of things because of how the rollout happened. eNote screen test. We're going to have to do that. What other stats then can we pull out, though, before we get to that? Super accurate voice to text functionality. So that's a feature I wanted to test. We probably won't be able to test this feature till tomorrow because I just got my eNote updated this morning. The update wasn't here yesterday in time for the launch, but it was there this morning. So I updated. We'll talk about that tomorrow when I've had a chance to try it. But they're saying it's super accurate voice dictation and it's its own voice dictation app. So it's not something that happens in the Note app. It's its own thing, which I'm super interested to see what they do with this. But yeah, so eNote 300 PPI, so a better PPI than the last one. So it's 227 PPI for the eNote 1, 300 PPI for the eNote 2. Way brighter screen, it seems like. We're going to find out how much brighter than if it beats the Vivewoods here in a sec, because I don't know. I haven't tested it, you guys. We're about to find out if it beats the Vivewood in brightness and whiteness and where it falls at in the friction. Now, the friction was something that that I wanted to gauge here, but I can't show my friction numbers yet. So the friction test won't mean much. I'm almost tempted not doing the friction test, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to do the brightness test. Data remind that anything remarkable sucks because it doesn't run Android. Oh my God, Owen. If the software is the same, I'll just buy the eNote 1 to see what it can do. Yeah. Aaron, yeah. There's no difference between the eNote 1 and eNote 2 other than the screen. And that would only matter to you. I mean, yeah, I guess the screen is better. Yeah, it's a hard sell since the screen is really the only thing that's different. You know what I'm saying? And all the software is going to be coming to the eNote 1 that the eNote 2 has. So it's a hard sell. It's a hard sell. Is it better? Yes. But does that matter to you? That's a whole different story. I'm going to go to the Be Right Back screen while I grab the tools that I'm going to use to take the screen brightness for the eNote 2. I'll be right back, you guys. All right, so I got the instruments here. We're going to take these out and do some testing with these. Let me make sure. What do we got here? Oh, can we put this back a little bit? There we go. There we go. We got it back. All right, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to do a live demo of the screen test here. And I think I'll do this for every screen test that I do because I think it's cool to do it live. And I'll just be doing it here by myself anyway. And if it's something that I'm doing I think is interesting and exciting, I'm gonna do it on live. So this is the brightness and whiteness tester here. What we're gonna do is this is how we're gonna test it. I'm gonna put you aside for right now. What we'll do is now I can bring you down a little bit more. Perfect. What we'll do, and you guys let me know if you want to see any particular thing with this eNote here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the... Where's my pen? Oh, boy. Where's the eNote pen? Oh, there it is. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to... we're going to go to a note here. And this is the way I did it. And this is the way I do it with, look how bright that is, you guys. That's going to be, this is going to kill. Let's go to the site real quick and see what the actual numbers were. So we'll know, and I'll write those down. So we're gonna go to the articles here on the site, and we're gonna go to screen brightness. And okay, so here we are. So for whiteness, we got 48.09 for the Viwoods AI paper. All right, so what we're gonna do, we wanna refresh. So all right, so you can see that here. Grab the tester here. We're going to go ahead and set the tester up. Can we put you over here? There we go. Oh, low power. Oh, wow. Okay, hold on. We gotta charge, you guys. We gotta charge. Hold on 1 second. What cable do I need? I'm hoping this is USB-C. I am really hoping this is USB-C. Let's find out. Oh, maybe it's maybe it's not USB-C. Oh, true. Okay, what we're gonna do is we'll let that charge for now. We'll do another test first. We'll let that charge for a few minutes. We'll do a roughness test, and then we can compare these roughness test readings we get with other things. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, so this is the roughness tester, you guys. I'm sure you've seen this. I have a video describing how this particular machine works on the YouTube channel. So if you're interested in seeing more detailed information about this machine or the other one I have charging over here, I have videos up on the YouTube channel kind of talking about these two things. All right, we'll leave this on the side here. And we're going to take out the calibration cue here. We're going to put that in here. Whoops. What? Holy cow, chat. This is... Okay, there we go. I'm like, what happened here? Why is this thing not fitting in there? Oh, is it upside down? Oh, no, we're good. We're good. Okay. All right, so the reading on this thing right here is, what do we got here? This is supposed to be 1.56. Yeah, 1.56. So we're going to calibrate and make sure that it's reading 1.56. So we're going to put it here. There we go. So we're going to put it there and make sure that it reads what it's supposed to read. And then we're going to check the screen on the eNote here for friction to see where it lands. Now we do have friction for a couple devices that I can pull up. Actually, I'm almost certain the Manta has all of the. I think the Manta has all of the friction information. I did put the crystal nib in the eNote, Aaron, and it works. I did put the crystal nib in the eNote. It just doesn't sit fully, so I have to modify it, and I'm not sure how to go about modifying it just yet, but it definitely needs to be modified. Let's go to my test, shall we? I'm going to look at the numbers for the other. Like I said, I haven't put this in a video yet, but I do have the friction for the number for the other eInk tablets I have on hand. And I'm going to pull those up right now so we can take a look. Surface roughness tests. Oh, awesome. Okay, so we do have those. Perfect. Okay, so I have surface roughness tests measurements for all the devices here. So what I'm going to do is we'll compare it to the AI paper. So the middle of the AI paper we got right here. I'm going to circle this real quick. Actually, give me a stylus. So we're only going to compare this to the AI paper because the AI paper is, it has the best display right now. You know what? I'm not going to do that. I should probably highlight it. There we go. Perfect. So these numbers right here are an average. We can see these. These numbers right here for the AI paper are an average for roughness. And you can see other, we can see other devices here. But whoa. So right here, for the and we're only going to test the middle right now. For the middle of the actual device, we have 0.674 is the roughness, and this roughness is an RA, and RA is the industry standard for roughness. So anybody with a machine that can test roughness can test RA roughness and come with the same results I have, or come with at least the same test that I have. So these are industry standards, again, like how it should be done. So let's test it. So we got 0.674 for the Virus AI paper in the middle. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and test the eNote here. Cleaning the, I've wiped the screen off here so we can go ahead and test. Bring it back a little bit. So I've wiped the screen off so we can test the friction in the middle of the screen here. What I'm going to do is first test the actual tester to make sure that it's reading the right reading here for roughness. And then we'll move on. All right. It should be 1.56 as far as the reading goes, which will let me know that it's reading things correctly. And essentially we got 1.557. So round that up, 1.56. So we're on point with the reading. So this is calibrated correctly. Now let's go ahead and test out the screen here. We're going to go ahead and put this on the screen. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and test the middle portion of the screen here. All right, so let's go ahead and get a reading and see what we get. All right, so we got a reading of 0.546. We're going to do 3 of these. Actually, we should probably do it in three different locations here. Five, 2. And right here. All right, so these are all settings for or measurements for roughness. All right, so 681. All right, so we have 3 readings for this thing here, and let's just do an average here. Let's calculate this. Can I do a calculation on live? Can we do a calculation on live? Or is anyone even here for this calculation? Oh, we have 10 people here. That's what's up. We got 6, 9. What do we got here? 17, 18, and 1. What do we got? 6. And, or, nope. We got 6. Then we got 7. 3. No, 2. 1, 9. And then we got 6, 6. So 0.626 is what we got for an average here. So 0.626. So as far as roughness goes, we got an RA. Can we move this? Yeah. We got an RA of 0.626 for the eNote, which is a little bit slicker than the middle of the AI paper. On par with the Note Air 4C. What else we got here? But everything, and on par with the Go 10.3. So the Go 10.3 also, can I show this? So the Go 10.3 also is in the 0.6 range for the middle of the display. Same with this is the eNote. eNote 2 here. Now I'm gonna put this in my database with all the rest of the measurements here, but that's just a quick and dirty of the roughness on the eNote 2. So the roughness on the eNote 2 for writing is on par with the AI paper. It's on par with the Note Air 4C, and it's on par with the Go 10.3. And those are the devices that I have. Let me see what else it's on par with, and that's it. So if you're looking to know what the writing surface is most like on the eNote 2, it's most like probably the Go 10.3 and the AI paper. And I think I said that in the unboxing that I did as well. I mentioned that I thought it felt a lot like the Go 10.3 and anything that Onyx does with their covers. And I think that's basically what happened here. Let me put these things away real quick. And I think that's basically what happened here. They brought their device up to par as far as the writing feel with other devices, and I think that was a smart decision because they didn't do a very good job with the writing feel the first time around. The eNote 1, the glare protection was bad. The writing feel wasn't as good as I thought it should have been and could have been. Let me take this out. So yeah, that's the thing. What we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna go ahead and take this roughness tester apart. I'll do some more controlled roughness testing and take more samples as well. I'll probably get maybe 10 samples in all, different spots on the screen like I did with the other displays. And we'll talk more about it when I get those samples. But right now, just so we can talk about it on live, the feel is most like those other books devices. Let's go to the chat real quick. Just your daily reminder. Okay, yep. The Manta screen on the Books Go 10.3 would make the perfect ink tablet. The Manta screen on the Go 10.3, yes, it would, Alex. Yes, it would. I would even go so far as to say the Manta screen on the Books Go 10.3 would be, I don't know, it would have to bring the organization with it. If it could bring the organization tools with it, yeah, I would agree with that. According to some of it, it's not Carter. If it's not Carter 13, it's trash. I like Carter 1200 for the ghosting, unless they've optimized 13 to be better than 12. I don't know yet. But I have a Carter 13 display here, and I don't think it's been. I don't think it's better than the Carter 1200 display. I caught that comment, like it should be done, LOL. Yeah. Yeah. Impressive longhand math skills. BM, listen, I'm a writer. All right, so we got those done over there. I'm gonna pack this machine up here. so we can be done with it. And hopefully we got some charge on the other machine that we can take a test with here. Can we put this in here? Oh, it fits. That's perfect. Does this fit? Oh, that fits perfectly too. Okay, all right. Everything's back inside this case. We can close this up. All right. Now the last thing we're going to do here is the brightness test. I hope we got a charge on this thing so far. Oh, snap. It's charged somewhat, at least. No, it's not. Not really. Why? I got the cables in. Why? Why aren't you charging? Oh. All right, you guys. So maybe we won't be able to do this today. I thought we would be able to do this today. But for some reason, I think it's the quick charge. Maybe it doesn't accept the quick charge. Maybe it's like, bro, we don't do the quick charge thing. So don't even try. Oh, Chad, I'm so upset I won't be able to do this today. It'll make for a good video tomorrow. Yeah, there's no chance of it. There's no chance, Chad. I will do this test. We will get the brightness and whiteness done, you guys. My bad we couldn't get that done today. But I really wanted to get that done. I really did. All right, everybody. I think that's going to be the show for today. We couldn't get through all of the tests we wanted to get through, but tomorrow we'll have it set up. It'll be charged by then. I hope. Like, why does this thing take so long to charge? I don't get it. But, whatever. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you. You guys were here early. I really appreciate everyone who's here. Thanks, eInk, for donating or for gifting all of those memberships. Thank you so much. And thank you to all the new members. If you're a new member, consider subscribing. It's okay. You got gifted a free membership. This is cool though, right? Just start your membership now. So for next month, you don't have to think about it. You're good to go. Thanks everybody for being here. Monday through Friday, Rants About Tech. We talk about tech news. We do this all the time. Join us 10 a.m. Eastern time till kind of whenever. What else? We're going to go over this eNote 2 stuff tomorrow. We're going to do that. We got more tech news to talk about. And also, I'm going to be talking about some maker stuff tomorrow, I think. All right, everyone. Thanks for being here. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.